No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
Just reach. On the other side. Go.
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, no, get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work them. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh! Ah, yeah, there's something in there.
Mullen.
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't put it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
Just reach. On the other side. Go.
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, do you the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh! Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh. What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't put it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, do you the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Hey, I got to take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh! Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh.
Welcome, NECC. You came to the Vibe stream. It is the cool kid stream. It's a little hidden hole in the wall, which means it's even better than anything else in the whole wide universe. And speaking of better than the whole wide universe, we have the amazing ToTryHardRay with us here today. How are you, man?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, ready for this amazing. We got some Division 3 semifinals matchup for you guys. We got Conestoga Condors going up against Northeastern Black, and Conestoga, they have been the Titans. They are undefeated so far. They're the #1 overall seed, and they've only dropped 2 maps this entire season. While for the side of Northeastern Black, they came into the playoffs with a very impressive 1-loss record, only dropping 6 maps total. So I think both of these teams are very talented, and they're going to be geared up, ready to go. But you got to give that slight favorite to the undefeated Conestoga.
Of course. I mean, even then, the margins aren't by a whole lot in terms of series. It's the map count that matters most, and we've seen how different modes of Marvel Rivals can be. Some teams dominate in one specific mode, where others are a little bit more fleshed out in every single side. So I guess the big question is, Ray, as we go into a best-of-5, does this mean we are going to go all the way to Game 5, given that both these teams are pretty similar skill-wise?
Hey, I mean, that's all that I could hope for. I mean,
Yeah, of
a
course.
lot of the early on streams I was on a couple weeks ago, and we had a nice little easy 3-0, unfortunately. I just want some great games of Marvel Rivals. All these collegiate players are getting ready to go. And sometimes, you know, this is Division 1, the top division, but this is sometimes where you get the better nitty gritty, you get interesting compositions, and you get really tight, close games.
Okay. Well, you know what? Those games are the best types of games. Division 3, Division 1, doesn't matter. All we're here for are the vibes and the best possible games we can see. But speaking of best possible games, I don't know if I can say the same thing about the first map that we have here today. I'll be honest with you, biased caster moment, Ray. I am not the biggest Hell's Heaven enjoyer. It is not for me. but maybe it is for you.
Not so much. I actually prefer the other two ones much more. I love Krakoa, but I understand given it's one of the newer maps in the game, feels like people haven't been playing it as long, don't feel like their strategies are as fleshed out as much as they'd like it to be, given, Hell's Haven's been in here since the beginning. So it kind of makes sense that people feel a little bit more comfortable. They're just used to playing it more. So I think for a lot of these where you're in for the first map, it was a ban and a pick and Krakoa got banned and this got picked. I feel like we're going to see this map popping up quite often.
I swear every time I cast Marvel Rivals, it's always the first map that we have. It's always the domination threshold. But that being said, though, it is such a swing. Excuse me, I have a giant air bubble inside of my body, but it's such a swing-heavy map overall, where as soon as you take the first point, I feel in this kind of environment, it's almost impossible to take it back.
Couldn't agree with you more. And as you guys can see, we are now going to be moving into that ban pick phase. As Conestoga immediately already with the first ban, ridiculousness.
Yeah, interesting. A Hawkeye ban for a Storm ban. I gotta say, that's a little lopsided, Ray. I think the Storm ban's a lot more hurtful than Hawkeye.
Yeah, we all know we are in a flyer meta, but I am never going to deny the outrageous power of that Hawkeye, that one-shot potential. We're going to see the Protect coming in on the Magneto. No surprise, Magneto is one of the few tanks who can actually fire at those flyers and put some pressure onto them.
Absolutely, and circling back around to the Hawkeye choice too, you have flyers in the air up against you in such a closed environment. You're able to sling out those arrows and one-shot a lot of supports because there's less bodies blocking them.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised to see the Rocket Raccoon coming in as the Protect. I mean, I've never seen like Rocket as one of those like main stake supports. Normally you think of like a Luna Snow is what you're looking to protect. And then we did see the Wolverine and now the Doctor Strange ban coming in. I love the Doctor Strange ban. I feel like Doctor Strange is always an extremely solid tank, being able to build up the evil magic within and just unleash all that power. So getting him off the board for Northeastern, I think, was a very smart play from Conestoga, as they will now protect their Invisible Woman.
It's limiting a lot of late game options too in case Conestoga takes that first point. It's going to put that onus on Northeastern Black to portal their way onto the site. But with the ban out, they won't be able to do that anymore. That's huge leverage for Conestoga.
Yeah, as no surprises here, we're going to see the Hela Protect with no Hawkeye on the field, being able to shoot those flyers with the sniper of Hela, going to be super important to keep that on the field because Conestoga could have banned that outright. And for the final ban for the side of Northeastern, the big question is, where do they look to go to try and make things difficult for Conestoga? And that is going to be banning the Loki.
Okay. I mean, again, Hell's Heaven's very small. It's easy to set up the doppelgangers to ensure that you can have anti-ults. A lot of what can be brought out can just be absorbed in terms of damage. The Moon Knight counter ban is interesting. Seems like the idea for Conestoga is to try to remove a lot of the backlogging potential. They want people to be very forced up and almost encouraging Northeastern to push aggressively and frontline a lot more. So I'm assuming Conestoga has a counter for it.
Feels like they're getting a lot of like pick potential, like where Moon Knight and Hawkeye are wanting to hang out in the back and look for those flyers in the sky or those DPS or supports in the back, and they're just saying, no, we're gonna want you to come to us and brawl it out. Which is interesting. The one interesting thing in my previous series I casted, Emma Frost was banned every single map by both teams. So this is my first time seeing it in like a collegiate official match. I'm excited.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. Normally we see either more of a preference to reserve or ban out the Magneto or the Emma. Northeastern chose not really to do either. In fact, I think through all the picks and bans, they chose to ignore Vanguards almost entirely. I do like what Northeastern's bringing out here. Black Panther, the Hela for the front, for the back line. They have Darm on the Punisher for the front line. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Pixelmon, the Emma Frost, to ensure that both Envy and Uwu James can stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough sledding when you're running an Emma and Rocket Raccoon backline, because Invisible Woman to me just provides a lot more utility for your team, as Rocket is mostly just a big heal bot, to be honest.
She's also a better duelist overall, because we see a lot of Rockets at this level of play choose not to heal whatsoever. They always want a purely heal bot. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you have enough healing output to come through. That being said, though, Northeastern early on takes the site. Oh, I apologize. I saw blue and assumed it's Conestoga who take the first point. They have a lot of pressure going past the shield of this Emma Frost.
Yeah, they have gotten 2 picks. Make that 3 for Northeastern Black as they're continuing to put the pressure on the point. They're going to find the pick onto Mystic Rye, and back to the spawn room you go. Northeastern able to clean that fight up relatively quickly before too much percentage is gained.
Yeah, losing a lot of critical players early on too. Conestoga, they still retain that lead, not by a whole lot, but as it dwindles away, Northeastern Black, they are fast-tracking their way back into what felt like the back line of Conestoga. They're pushing themselves up more now. They're going to force Conestoga to take this early fight, and this is just the stall.
Yeah, the Black Panther for the side of Northeastern has been doing a great job of finding early pickups, and there's 2 more for Algerian Vesper already.
That's huge. You're just removing the back line. It's forcing Conestoga to play even more upwards, but they don't have nearly the same heal capabilities. Venezuela goes down. Darm looking great on the hit scan. He's got the damage output and has the help of 2 other duelists to ensure that they can find the final elimination.
Yeah, and this is the key to running the single Emma Frost take. She can hold her own on this front line and allow these DPS, the 3 of them, to be able to do their thing. Algerian Vesper and the backlines constantly farming and allowing Darm and Casual Scrub to find picks, just as Darm did once again onto the Hellas. 1-man advantage once again for Northeastern Black.
I mean, nearly 6 ultimates to work with now for Northeastern. They have to hold on to this point. They have almost 60% as they achieve into it. Ultimate after ultimate, we see Mystic Rye still focusing on him. He's not able to bring out the Meteor M just yet. He cannot counter up against Envy, and this could be a critical mistake.
As already Northeastern Black is falling back toward the point, but buying them some more space. In comes that Meteor and does not find anything, but it did force Spectres to get players back. But Casual Scrub comes back and finds 2, and Algerian Vesper able to clean that up as 85% and counting for Northeastern Black.
And I gotta say, what I think would be the better comp of Conestoga has not been able to stay in line. This Black Panther is adding so much backline potential that the healers can't get activated. Mystic swaps away from the Magneto, now to a Venom, to counteract this Black Panther directly and put that pressure back onto him. But it's too little too late. That is the first point, heavily going in Northeastern's favor.
Yeah, 100-0 for Conestoga, for Northeastern. That was absolutely insane. I think just the pressure of being able to have that 3rd duelist on the field to continue to fire, whether it was, the Darm on the Punisher or Casual Scrub, and then Algerian Vesper was just continuously bothering the back lines of Conestoga to where every time they felt like they were ready to push, there was a pick.
We talked about before how there'd be a lot of pressure on Pixelmon to keep both Envy and Uwu James alive, and that's certainly the case, right? But because we have the Black Panther, and I would argue to an extent the Hela too, being so far away from the front lanes of the map, you have less players to heal consistently overall, which means Darm and Pixelmon are just being constantly fed. They're essentially invincible with heals.
As we already see Mystic Rye making a change, going over to the Thing, as well as Binos is going over to stick on to the Winter Soldier. No changes from Northeastern, as the old adage says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're looking good.
I know, their compositions work so well. There's a little bit less room, of course, on this next site. Black Panther might struggle more. We'll have to wait and see what Egregian can do here. But early on, though, Conestoga putting up a pretty good fight. It's going to be Casual Scrub suffering quite a bit, though, to the hands of Bino, but forced to get away. Hip is good for the double early on, and that's all of Northeastern. Outside of the Black Panther, completely gone.
That was Conestoga, you know, with those ultimates that carried over from the previous round, able to make good use of the Goddess of Death from Kip, and they're able to clean up relatively fast, and they keep 2 ultimates in their back pocket. They're going to have that Psionic Seduction as well as that Invisible Boundary, while Northeastern, who kind of unleashed everything to secure that first point, are still going to be waiting a bit, building up to some of these ultimates to be able to push.
I will say I liked how Northeastern Black in the last point played out their ultimates. They were able to stack them up, and they used it as a brute force procedure to make sure Conestoga couldn't even get close after the cap. Silly Shadow's struggling though, not keeping that shield up alive. Darm, of course, loses that turret, but the Psionic Seduction, you called it right, comes out alongside the Invisible Boundary, and it sends Darm almost essentially to oblivion. But it's the heals from Envy and Uwu James that have remained the staple of Northeastern as they try to achieve their way back onto the point. Conestoga, though, 50%, doing a fantastic job. They're pushing Northeastern all the way back practically into their spawn.
And this is where things are going to get a little bit difficult for Conestoga. The only ultimate they're going to have now is the Clobberin' Time, while now you're going to be facing Final Judgment and a lot of these ults coming in from Northeastern.
But there's an important note too. Final Judgment is out. There's no Doctor Strange that Northeastern can use. They can't portal directly onto the site. They're forced to play into the choke. And losing that first point early on means Conestoga can just keep snow forwards. We'll have to wait and see if it continues on forwards though. Psionic Seduction is out. A great meltdown once again. Northeastern, it took them a little bit, but it seems like they may be able to finally capture the point. As I say that though, it's not looking good. Oh, Ray, it just keeps on going down. The firepower for Northeastern looks so good on the first point, but it's just not coming together. And now Conestoga, they have overtime.
Yeah, as the Fate of Both Worlds does a great job being able to keep the players up from Northeastern. Just when you thought Conestoga was going to be able to take that, they take the point back, and now they're in command. They're going to have that Goddess of Death, as Conestoga kind of unleashed what they had online. But don't worry, they got 4 ultimates coming soon, but Northeastern has some tools to continue to hold.
Yeah, the 4 ults are going to be very scary against the Goddess of Death. Kip itself on the Punisher is going to be able to ransack away that damage off of hit scan alone. So you have to play this ult very carefully. Casual Scrub is going to wait till the last possible second to go for that push. Turret is out. MGD 420, of course, 50% now on the Luna Snow. Can wait a little bit longer for their ultimate. Be good timing off of Bush Llama. They bring out that Invisible Boundary. Look at that. Here it is. Pixelmon once again, the sole vanguard of Northeastern Black, is forced to hold the line. It's Northeastern once again finding some impact. The Resurrect is out against Pixelmon. You get a whole wealth of damage back. But Casual Scrub shuts down not only Kip's ultimate, but MGD as well. Throws the timing off of the Strategist ult completely. And this could be a chance for Northeastern now to take their own OT.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, they still got 50% of counting, so you're probably going to have to win 2 more fights at least. But once again, Conestoga used everything they had on, like, they'll have the Fate of Both Worlds, but they're going to be going up against the Rocket ult and the Final Judgment.
That's scary.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's a lot of damage.
Now, do you think Conestoga is going to bring out the Doctor Strange? They don't have it banned.
No, I don't think they can at this point. No one is really set up to be able to go do that at this point. Maybe if someone died early, you make a quick swap, but that's about it.
I mean, Rise the Black Panther, he could swap back to a Vanguard and go for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I mean, agreed, but you're not even close to your Final Judgment, so really you're relying on maybe a turret setup to try and make it happen. It's just so tough.
Yeah, I don't think it's feasible. Yeah, I don't think Conestoga thinks it's feasible either, but it was certainly an option in their minds. Mystic makes it work, though. Egregion falls, and this is the beginning, possibly, of the end. Conestoga, they have to make this push work now before OT. If not, it's looking like a 2-0 for game number 1 in this best of 5. If it goes to best of 5, Silly Shadow 1v1ing up against the Hela. It's the Fate of Both Worlds holding the line. So many heals are out now, and Silly Shadow once again is able to take so much of it. It's a triple kill across the board. Conestoga is melting away Northeastern Black. In a desperation move, they've taken back the point, and we go to the final one of Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, what a great map between both those teams. 99-99, and it felt like at one point, man, Conestoga is going to win this. Then Northeastern able to fire back, make that reverse sweep to 99, but Conestoga said no more. our Luna Snow, able to keep them up with the fate of both worlds. And honestly, their Emma Frost, I am Silly Shadow, went absolutely insane on that point.
It really feels like both of these matches have been dominated by Pixelmon and Silly Shadow.
I mean, with a good Emma Frost, I mean, sometimes that is just how it goes. That's why, like I mentioned in my previous series I casted, it was banned every single match just because the power of Emma Frost and what she is able to do and put onto these fields. Now it's all down to this for both of these teams. Slight ult advantage will be in the favor of Conestoga coming in to this first point, but Northeastern's not too far behind with some of their own.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Egregian's going to opt to bring out Kraken Arm in the beginning of this push. It's a risky endeavor. It comes down to a game of chicken between himself and Bush Llama on this invisible boundary. 3 ultimates now available for Conestoga, 2 of which now Kraken Impact. A good chance to start things off. It depends on the timing now of all the strategists. That's number 1. We do see Egregian bring it out, and it's working. He's able to 1v1. He isolated out the Punisher, but it wasn't enough. Kip was able to get back into the safety zone. Silly Shadow falls, and the entirety of Conestoga is forced to wait for this ammo to respawn.
Yeah, especially with Casual Scrub also getting a second pick in there, Northeastern, able to take an early point cap, but still the ults are in the favor. It's not the ults may be in favor, but they keep losing picks side by side. Final Judgment comes out, finds 3. Oh my goodness!
Oh, that's exactly what you're looking for directly on the stream too. Kip, a wonder man when it comes to how great it was to melt everything down. Conestoga once again, they've taken the lead back. Not nearly as pendulum heavy as it was back on the second point, but 10-18, absolutely now they'll take the lead. Remember, Northeastern again don't have that Doctor Strange advantage to use. They can't drop directly onto the site. They're forced to push through these small choke points once again. The Conestoga are taking these 1v1s. Darm does get the resurrect. We do have Final Judgment in the arsenal of Darm. Will it come out now, or is he going to wait for this Eternal Bond to activate?
Out comes Rocket Raccoon ult, providing so much damage. Northeastern, they're gonna find Bush Llama in the back as the Black Panther ults in the back, not able to confirm any kills. Kip finds one, but Pixelman able to respond as the fate of both worlds is going to come out, and the Goddess of Death. So much damage available for the side of Northeastern, and it looks like they will flip this point.
They do flip it. Really good timing off of Fate of Both Worlds. Goddess of Death there in combination, ensuring that no one's gonna go down in the process. Horseback once again. Shields are out. Both the last 2 games have been dominated by Silly Shadow and Pixelmon, using their Emma Frost to the full advantage to keep things in line and tank that damage. But look at that isolation. That Silly Shadow gone. And Cononesta, they've been historically able to slow things down once they lose their Vanguard. It's just a matter now of seeing if they'll do it again.
It was a great job from Majiri Vesper. Got that great hook and isolation for their team to be able to capitalize. And once you're down one like that early in a fight, it's better to just cut your losses and fight as a full 6, especially like when you're in the situation where they're just now taking the percentage lead and you got a couple of ults coming online for both teams. But the Psionic Seduction, we've seen how powerful they can be. Pixelmon has this ability to do that.
I mean, surely now the Psionic Seduction should come out in the next big push. Haven't seen it activated just yet. Tip unfortunately falls to the hands of Hela. Hiding the backside though. Silly Shadow makes the aggressive push. The Black Panther from Mystic Rye, once a Vanguard's finally out again to put that pressure on the Scrub. Force them back, 1v1. What is Silly Shadow doing? He falls. It's a heal out. Mystic's forced to dial back. It goes back to Northeastern Black.
Yeah, they're still hunting for this Black Panther in the backline. Mystic Rye just gonna have to look to get out. Conestoga's gonna have 3 ultimates to be able to make that 4. There's the invisible boundary.
Beautiful. Casual Scrub once again finding that Black Panther invisible boundary, as you said, is finally out. Final Judgment on top there. The possible final meltdown that we see. The last major call. It's the Kraken Impact coming out from Vesper. Doing such a good job. That's essentially a team wipe. There we go. An attempt there from the ult off of Mystic is not enough. Very good work from Northeastern Black.
As they're going to take map number 1. And in my preamble coming into the series, I talked about how Conestoga has only lost 2 maps through the round robin and this semifinals round of the playoffs. This is map number 3. Northeastern Black came in with that strategy of running the 3 duelists with their single Emma Frost, and they opened it up on that first point and dominated, forced Conestoga to copy them, and in the end, they're able to bring it home on map 3.
Yeah, I really like how things turned into a mirror comp towards the end. I think Northeastern Black again had the best team cohesion overall, but again, Conestoga, they've looked incredibly good in this. The sole difference in those team chemistry diffs, though, was that Northeastern was very good about isolating individual players in that symbiotic unit that Conestoga was able to achieve. We saw a lot of 1v1s not go in Silly Shadow's favor. We've seen Kip and even Mystic Rye caught off guard by the hands of Casual Scrub. And even though the MVP went to Aguirre and Vesper, I gotta say, I think Casual Scrub had the most impact.
I was going to say exactly that. It felt like the Hella difference was pretty strong. They were finding out picks pretty early on. But, I mean, that first map, Aguirre and Vesper went insane on the Black Panther, kept being in those back lines and finding 1-2 picks in a row. So I understand why they ended up with MVP, because they also did a great job with that hook on the Winter Soldier as well. So they also played a fantastic game. But as I mentioned, I think the key was Northeastern came in with how they like to play and forced Conestoga to have to play their game.
I mean, originally Conestoga started off with 2 Vanguards, right? Mystic was having an identity crisis at the end of the first point. He swapped away from the Magneto to a Venom as a Black Panther towards the end. So I'm hoping into the second game we get to see Conestoga find their footing a little bit more. I think if Mystic is able to integrate better with the team, maybe not as a Vanguard, who knows, it is a different mode, I think they could easily take this to game 5.
Which will be extremely exciting. I mean, very, very close round. I mean, you're discounting map number 1, where it kind of ran away with 100-0 for Northeastern. The next 2 maps, consequentially after that, were extremely close. It's going to come down to it, and that's been one beauty that I've seen throughout a lot of these series is the ban and pick phase of Marvel Rival, especially in this organized setting, is very, very important. So I'm really curious to see how that adjustment gets made, especially from Conestoga, who they will get. If I mean, from here on out, guys, there's no more bans. It's just loser picks the map. So Conestoga gets to bring it to their map of choice. Map number 2, we do know we are going to Central Park.
Oh, that's going to be fun. But hey, you know what? We talked about Mystic, right? You swap to the Black Panther at the very end of Hell's Heaven. What is a better way to keep that streak going than going to Central Park? That is a haven, a Hell's Heaven, if you will, for a Black Panther pick.
Yeah, it's a fantastic map for that pick. The one thing I am going to be very curious about going forward in this series was just a little over a week ago, Ultron was very, very powerful and very, very prevalent, and we haven't seen that yet. I mean, we've seen the Invisible Woman and the Luna Snow, which makes a lot of sense, but I'm really curious to see if we start to see support adjustments. But for the side of Northeastern, it's got to keep that momentum going, and hopefully, if you're them, make this a quick and easy night. I mean, not good for us because we want to see some great games, but hopefully they can keep it going for their sake.
So let's follow up with that, though. If we see an Ultron, do you think it's going to be on a much bigger map like Central Park compared to Hell's Heaven, or do you think it's just going to be a triple strategist?
I think it could be. I mean, you're going to have a lot more command of the skies on this map. I mean, immediately, interestingly, Conestoga's already like, get this Rocket Raccoon off of the field. We do not like this damage buff and the amount of healing. I mean, the ultimate is really strong on Rocket once you got your team coalescing on it, so I understand. Storm, once again, they don't want to deal with no flyers, and they are going to protect their Luna Snow, which, I mean, makes sense. I feel like it's a big-time protectable. Conestoga, once again, I mean, we saw the Magneto not coming through as well on the previous map. They're still going to protect it.
Just going off the Rocket, too, I could definitely see this being anti-Penny Tech for the first point. You don't have the Rocket network built up anymore. It's going to make things a little bit easier to get on that first point. And for the most part, that's where teams mostly struggle on the attack.
as no surprises here after the way Scrub went on that first map. I'd be like, we got to keep him on that Hella. So making sure that can continue to go forward. The question is for Conestoga, what are they going to look to protect? And that is the Punisher. I mean, I think both teams' Punishers were equally good and had their equal pop-off moment. No surprise here why they're looking to try and protect that for Conestoga.
It really just screams like Conestoga's prepping for that first point and getting past it as soon as possible. You reserve the Punisher, be anti-Groot walls. We've seen a lot of teams rock that Vanguard. The Doctor Strange ban, ensuring that no portal shenanigans is going to come through from Northeastern again. Pretty consistent. And going back to the Rocket, you don't have the Penny Network anymore to work with. So hopefully for Conestoga, they're looking for a very easy attacking side.
Which will be as the Emma Frost getting banned. I think that's a big one. That's a big
That's
final.
bigger than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, let me just throw that on the table right there. That's just you dropped the hammer right there. That, I mean, considering how both Emma Frosts were extremely good previously, I think that's a big ban from the side of Northeastern.
I mean, Conestoga wasn't the best Magneto performance in the world. I would assume that Silly Shadow would probably take that mantle on, right? Question mark? No. Rai's going to stick with the Magneto. Silly Shadow hasn't locked in yet. No major changes at all outside of Silly Shadow taking the Venom role. I don't know.
It's interesting that neither team is electing. I mean, it's strange that Northeastern decided to ban the Emma Frost in this case. So they're not going to use. So they feel comfortable taking that Magneto duel with Mystic Rai. It's a lot easier to talk about the defense here. The other defensive play I'm surprised to see here is pulling out the Cloak and Dagger for NVU. I mean, I think Cloak and Dagger can be, really good, but it just feels like, Invisible Woman or the side of or maybe, I mean, our Rocket's banned, but even like a Loki can put out a little bit more healing.
Yeah, it might just be a comfort pick from MVU at this point. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. There's plenty in the Cloak and Dagger kit to work with here. Early on, though, Uwu James once more finding impact. The Rocket has been banned, so we won't be seeing that anymore. Mystic Rai, however, does take the opening pick. That's Casual Scrub gone. We said he had the most impact in game number 1. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to affect the dynamic. But early on now, Conestoga, they've been looking decent about holding the line here and taking the frontwards push directly onto the point.
It's really strange to see this first point playing out. Conestoga comes in, absolutely dominates, but Northeastern, Scrub isn't on the Hella. Kip comes in on the Hella and absolutely dominates, finds 2 opening picks. What the idea here is with that Moon Knight and how it's going to work things out, but so far so good for Conestoga, bringing us to Central Park and showing us why they seem to be very good at it.
Yeah, P2 is really good for a Moon Knight pick. You have that extra elevation to work off of. You can hide the Onks a little bit more, focus the back line, which we've seen Northeastern prioritize, especially off of Agirian in the last game. It's just a matter of getting to that proper positioning to use it. And so far, Conestoga, they set up their bans pretty well to be very attacker-sided. You can only imagine Agirian doesn't have a lot to work with in terms of help from the rest of his team. Back off screen, we saw him targeted by Silly Shadow off screen, and Mystic Rai is the one to focus on the front lines instead. And that's going to make Northeastern so much more fragmented.
Yeah, as we're seeing the Luna Snow ults coming out, as now the Kraken Impact and the Invisible Boundary comes out. Bino able to find one with that Kraken Impact. Can they find more? Kip is able to with the Goddess of Death, and clean up duty comes on for Conestoga, as once again Northeastern is sent back to the spawn rooms.
Yeah, Northeastern, they're going to have to make a major change here. Casual Scrub going from our girl Squirrel Girl. Perfect. I like this choice. You're able to backline a whole lot more and just completely decimate damage against the likes of Silly Shadow. Of course, Mystic Rai will prove to be a pain in the Casual Scrub department, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out differently. Agirian does swap to the Groot. That's what the Punisher was reserved by Conestoga. They're looking to melt those walls when available, but immediately, it might not matter. everyone just goes down on Northeastern.
Yeah, the fate of both worlds from MGD, able to keep the team up, and unfortunately Pixelmon not able to hit that Meteor M to, disrupt that ultimate. Maybe you can kind of see why Conestoga wanted that Magneto duel. They seem to be getting, Mystic seems to be getting the better end of this duel now, as now Conestoga is pushing around one of the final pushes, and they still have a visible boundary they can throw down.
Yeah. Doesn't really feel like there's many other advantages that Conestoga needs over Northeastern other than just winning these duels, and they've been doing so handedly. Northeastern attempting to hold the line. They won game number 1. They want to make this a clean 3-0 for the series if they can. Darm and, well, it seems like Silly Shadow, they did find some impact early on, but it's Pixelmon instead that's able to hold the line. Agirian's there, now a Vanguard wiping down the entirety of Conestoga.
And this is where things are going to get tough for Conestoga. This is the hardest part to push on Central Park, is just this steep uphill battle where the defense is just going to have continuous advantageous positioning. And now you're going to have a Squirrel Girl set up, which is even more dangerous as Casual Scrub already finds one.
That's right. And it's going to make things a lot more difficult now for the back line. They can't rely on their safe and cushy positioning anymore. Casual Scrub can just pierce through it and make it a lot more difficult to heal, which in turn makes the front line inherently weaker from the hands of Darm. Conestoga, they're barely able to leave their spawn.
They will be able to respawn, however, with 5 ultimates intact. Let's see what they're going to be able to make with this and who's going to be that opening gambit.
Well, you're going to have a Queen's Gambit come out right now. Bush Llama's only 50% off of the invisible boundary. MGD finally now able to bring out Fate of Both Worlds, and let me tell you, it certainly is. Goddess of Death is finally out. It is an ult fiesta any which way you look. A plethora of damage, and all of it's negated from both sides, having simultaneous, well, it was Luna Snow. Now it's the invisible boundary from the hands of EVU. Bush Llama's too far behind to follow up. This could be a blessing in disguise. 75%. If Conestoga can hold on, they can have a delayed invisible boundary and keep the line going. But it better come out now. Bodies are dropping fast. 90%. Might be better off to wait for the respawn at this point.
Yeah, you still got a lot of time on that clock because of how quickly you're able to get those first 2 points. But again, as I talked about, the heroes that Northeastern have swapped to are perfect for the situations they're into now. Squirrel Girl way better when you have these defensive positions to hold. Same with Groot.
Yeah, and I thought for sure Agirian would struggle with this Groot just because, again, you have the Punisher reserve from Kip. But it might just be a comfort choice overall. I do like Bino swapping over to the Squirrel Girl of his own. It's a squirrel off once again. See who the Queen of the Forest can be. Small little area now isolating out what was Silly Shadow just for a second. Uwu James, a double kill off of the Luna Snow. There's finally the invisible boundary, giving a breathing room from Conestoga. But unfortunately, though, again, we talked about the timer, and Ray, it's getting difficult now. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that invisible boundary either. You're already down 2 in the fight. Casual Scrub will be able to find one. Bino is able to trade out. However, now comes the invincible Squirrel Tsunami. Can it find any picks? It hasn't, but it has been able to force damage and positioning, and it does end up finding one. Nigerian Vesper comes back with a second as for the side of Northeastern Black. I think because of their numbers, yeah, they're going to have to look to back up a little bit, but the cart's fallen back so much that you're in a position where Northeastern Black can re-engage and still have these high ground defensive positions.
Let's see if that re-engagement works. Meteor M is set up and ready now from Mystic Rai. Silly Shadow is on the thing. Venom was not very long lasting. This stairway can be devious for either side. Final Judgment's finally out. It is a burst of colors any which way you look, but even Uwu James off of Fate of Both Worlds was not enough to tank that damage. Kip is mowing down everybody on Northeastern, and there's no chance of survivability. That should all but guarantee 3 points now for Conestoga.
You'll have a chance to re-engage most likely. Oh, they don't get the touch in time. Conestoga, who had a lot of time, frankly, coming into that final point, drained all the way down to 45 seconds. But in the end, you did what you needed to do. You capped all 3 points, and now you have the condition you need to tie up the series heading into map number 3. You just got to stop Northeastern from capping all 3 points.
I just want to go back to the picks and bans again, man, because it feels like this was entirely for Conestoga to guarantee 3 points on the attack. I don't know if they'll find that same success on the defense. I think they're going to seriously struggle on this first point.
I think, excuse me, I definitely think you make a valid point. The question is, I mean, will Northeastern be able to take advantage, as we mentioned, of the picks that were set up for the attack? Like, can they have as successful an attack, or will they struggle a little bit? We are going to continue on this defense. Yeah, we're not going to see any Squirrel Girl still, so Bino's going to go back to that Winter Soldier. No surprise here. And Kip going back over to the Hella. I think this is a much better defensive set. This is kind of more of what I was expecting. I mean, they're going to go Punisher now, but still, same difference. The defensive setup for Northeastern was more puzzling to me. They were playing like Moon Knight and stuff, and like I wasn't sure about that on the first point, but I like what Conestoga is doing here on their defense.
Yeah, it felt like Northeastern had a very specific anti-comp in mind, and when we did see Conestoga play all 6 of the perfect heroes to do that, it did not work. Very, very early pick, though, from Casual Scrub. Still remaining on the Squirrel Girl. Beano's falls. A great start. Mystic is pushed up in such a scary position. Himself and Kip, well, I thought Kip was able to get away, and so did he, but he got stuck in a wall. We're not able to escape. Mystic, of course, was. But this has been a very early take from Northeastern. Almost unstoppable from the hands of Darm.
Yeah, both schools coming out firing on all cylinders on their attack. They're going to cap both first points with relative ease. And Darm finds Mystic Rye once again. So you're going to be down a Vanguard in this fight. It's, you know, just under 6 minutes for the second point. And they're just continuing to snowball.
So we talked about Conestoga having a lot of good picks and bans for the attacking side. What is their plan for this defense? Bino swaps over to the Squirrel Girl. It's a good start. You can again disrupt the back line just a tiny bit, but it's the front lines I'm scared about. Darm has been, again, a brute force machine of pure picks against everybody. The amount of damage he's been able to output has been unmatched. And we already saw Silly Shadow and company forced to hide away so deep in. When they choose to re-engage, it's going to be that Kraken impact set up and ready.
They've been able to do that without any sort of ult investment whatsoever. Look at all that damage already that I Am Silly Shadow has taken. Out comes the Scroll Tsunami. It's going to put out a lot of damage. Engineering Investors able to find one. Kraken impact finds another. They are able to get Darm out of the fight, but the damage has been done, and Northeastern is going to end up winning that fight.
Winning that fight. Once again, Northeastern have just been a wall of damage, mostly off the hands of Darm. Things do slow down when he's not available, but you can already see Conestoga is like, okay, we'll give you for the most part this next point. We're going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to P3, though.
But they didn't, though. God. Because, you know, for the side of Conestoga, Silly Shadow charges to the point to try and stop them from capping it, gets taken down immediately, and now it's followed up by all of this snowball once again as Conestoga finds themselves on the back, but Casual Scrub gets Mystic Rye, and, you know, by the time they blink, they're already going to be at this incline. But this is where things started to stall for Conestoga on their attack. What's going to happen for Northeastern?
But Garion at that point had brought out the Groot, and that was enough to physically block these Vanguards from pushing up. And we've seen Silly Shadow 2 games now in a row has had a habit of overheating and taking on these 1v6s. Clobbering time is out. Will he be victim of it again? The answer this time is no. He's good at making it work, but Kip and Llama fall in the process. Both of the strategists for Conestoga are gone, and inadvertently now overheating by himself. Silly Shadow able to survive, frozen in time, however. It's not gonna last much longer. Oh, but Silly Shadow can survive, but at what cost? You're pushed so far back, all that damage is being applied against you. The invisible boundary is out. Any damage that he could bring will be negated. The fate of both worlds, but on top. And even then, it's the inevitable 4.5 minutes left on the clock. How could you hold for this long?
It's still holdable for the fight of Conestoga. They're gonna have clobbering time, so they're forced to use it. Can they capitalize? They are not. Players are still alive. They do get Uwu, but they trade Silly Shadow. It feels like trades when you're throwing ultimates in this fight for the sign of Conestoga. You need more than trades. Pixelmon cleans up Mystic as they're rounding the final stretch.
Here it comes once again. Darm and Casual Scrub completely activated now, ensuring these 1v1s. 1v1 against the Vanguard, no less. Silly Shadow made a desperation plea to push in, but it wasn't enough. Overtime we go. And there's a bit of a timing difference.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
just slight. I mean,
1
minute,
30
4 minutes.
seconds.
I mean, considering how fast both these teams, were able to cap the first point, I think, we're probably looking at it. The question is, how far into the second point can you get? I mean, because, if we're being honest, both teams cap the first 2 points without losing a fight. So you could be in a situation where if you're Conestoga, you get to the third point, then anything's possible as long as I think with a 4-minute timing, Northeastern's almost guaranteed the first 2 points. So if you're Conestoga, you gotta get at least 2 points.
Yeah, but I feel like the big reason why we saw Conestoga take that first point was because Northeastern just wasn't prepared for the composition Conestoga brought out. And now we're going into this defense. There's 2 Vanguards, a Magneto off of a Girion specifically, but Casual Scrub on the Squirrel Girl too. I think this is a really good adjustment.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I talked about that where I was like, what were they doing on that defense?
Right?
Now it definitely feels like they're a lot more prepared. I mean, Casual Scrub has been absolutely running this lobby on the Squirrel Girl ever since they've swapped to it. So we're gonna have to see for the side of Conestoga how they deal with this. They do currently have Silly Shadow on Mr. Captain America.
Yeah, I like that change too. I think this is a really good counter to the Squirrel Girl pick. You have to be in her face, and she just does not have the fire rate to necessarily take him down, as long as you have good movement. Well, it continues on forwards right away. Heals need to be dumped into the 2 duelists, though. Mystic Rise able to gain some space, but all eyes should be on Silly Shadow. Commented how does have a bit of a propensity to overheat a tiny bit, but why not on Captain America? Well. Maybe that's why.
Well, already 20 seconds left on the clock. So if you're Conestoga, you cannot continue to stagger here. You got to get back in the spawn, take this fight full 6 because they're pushed up far. And the question is, are you going to even be able to get a touch? We see Silly Shadow going over to the Venom, trying to have that mobility to try and at least go touch the point.
Silly Shadow's making that attempt, though. I like this play. Hold the line, allow everyone else to flood in while you take on the entirety of the enemy team. A very noble cause. Kip and Mystic, they're able to follow up off of this from Silly Shadow, and they get 2 picks. This is a good way to melt things down. If things continue like this, sure, it'll say overtime, but there's a chance to at least cap a point and make things a lot more difficult for Northeastern's 4-minute timer. But then again, it's a meltdown once more. Conestoga, they've continued it forwards. 2?
Yeah, the final jet. Oh, they're going to do the fate of both worlds just to try and hold the point and allow time for the players to come back. I just feel like that was a poor decision for the side of Northeastern.
It's such a desperation plea. You're really hoping for Northeastern to respawn and join you, at least by the time you fall, to ensure you have some distance in stalling power, but you're completely right. Came out a little too early. Overtime, though, barely existing in the server. Just enough to see if it's going to work. Beanos does fall to the Winter Soldier 1v1. This is looking good, though. Hit at both worlds once again. Holding the line. Silly Shadow remaining on this Venom. Has found a lot of impact on the pick. Meteor M does not connect, however, from a Girion.
But it does find Bush Llama, as now Northeastern is going to take prowess on the cart, find 2 more kills. I mean, Bido used the Kraken Impact, able to find 1, but it's not going to be enough. Conestoga is stopped just outside the castle.
Yeah, just a quick respawn from the team was enough for Northeastern to bring things back. Conestoga getting that first point, though, will mean Northeastern has more work to do, but Ray, I'm just looking at that 4-minute timer, and I just don't see a way Conestoga can get back into this.
Yeah, it is a lot of time you're going to have to waste. It's tough. Like, you have to pull out some kind of almost like cheese comp defense that, Northeastern is just not going to be expecting and they don't know how to really adjust to it would be like my only suggestion. But it just feels like things are all looking Northeastern Black's direction at this point.
And they're already up a game too. If they win this next point, that means they'll be on the elimination game against Conestoga. It is a best of 5, not a best of 3, so there would be one more attempt after this, but can't get too far ahead of ourselves. Conestoga's defense here hasn't really changed a lot from how they played before. Really, the only major difference is Beano's now on the Loki.
Which, I mean, it's definitely going to provide, that defense, being able to pull out the doppelgangers and throw down those lamps, allowing players to stay alive for longer. And, if you can get up, the ult, get that God of Mischief going, then you really get, a nice pickings of what kind of ult you really want to bring to the table.
Triple Strategist 2 would be enough to maybe keep the Vanguards and the Singular Duelist alive here. Tip. Got onslaught damage early on. Try to fast track to the final judgment. Good shield timing off of Agirian. Enos, though, the Loki, needs to keep these doppelgangers going too, just in case we see that Kraken Impact come out fairly late in.
Yeah, it's going to rely very heavily on Kip to be able to find a lot, since they're the only, duelists who can throw down a lot of damage. We do know that, these doppelgangers have been spotted from the side of Northeastern Flex. They can look to get them down early. That's a lot of damage. MGD is low, able to get healed up just in time. Kip also taking a lot of residual damage, but no picks found on either side so far as the fight is going to continue to ensue. Enduring Vesper, NVU able to find Bush Llama. That's 2 supports down for this side of Conestoga, and that is going to spell disaster. Agirian is able to make things come. Silly Shadow able to find 2, but it just feels like it's too little, too late.
He is holding the line, though. And even though he falls now, it's enough to allow some respawns left from Conestoga. But even then, you're right, it's just so staggered at this point. 3 minutes left on the clock. And remember, when Conestoga, they captured this first point, they barely got the payload outside of this castle before it was over. And with 2.5 minutes left on the clock now, I mean, there's plenty of time for Northeastern to make that push.
Yeah, and they only need one more tick on this first point, and they don't have to get it very far after that. So here we go. How are these going to open up? Casual Scrub still has a tsunami. It is able to go out, but it trades in for their life, but it does get Beanos up off of the field as well. Invisible Boundary is also thrown in, so very hard for Kip to find, and he just has to shoot Clobber in time. Also going to find a couple of picks. Meteor M's got to find something big, and it does find Darm. Is the fate of both worlds for both sides. Now going to come up to try and keep some things alive, but 2 picks have been found for the side of Conestoga, and they are holding, Keg.
They are holding. I thought for sure, as I was talking before, it would be enough to get that 3rd point, but the answer was no. Conestoga, they made a fantastic recovery. They're holding the line. They're forcing all of Northeastern Black back. It's the turret that's out, destroyed away. Kip has to play into this fate of both worlds, ensure that he can rack up that damage for another final judgment. It's just a matter now of seeing whether or not it can be a battle between 2 and 3 strategists. Which one can heal the other? We know the answer, but who's going to target the ones in the back? The invisible boundary is out. Pixelmon falls. That's the leading charge again for Northeastern gone. 1.5 minutes is left, and now both Vanguards are dead. How can you hold the line when everyone else is squishy? Force the back away and reset yet again.
Yeah, we do see Casual Scrub, who has been on the Hella now, but a lot of ultimates are stacking up for the side Northeastern Black. Conestoga, they're going to have a few ults, but not nearly as much. So this is Northeastern Black's opportunity. With just over a minute left on the clock, they got to find something now.
Oh, 1 minute left on the clock. You're absolutely right. It's far easier said than done. Casual Scrub has moved away from the Squirrel Girl back to the Hella. The damage output's necessary, but the escape options too. Kraken Impact has been brought out. Well, what is the cost? Well, it's the invisible boundary right on top. NVU falls in the middle of their ultimate. Kip uses final judgment and once again remains unstoppable. I had my doubts. There was 40 seconds left on the clock. But Conestoga looks like they can do it. They can hold the line, take the 1v1s. Casual removes 2. That's both 2 out of 3 strategists. Excuse me, all 3 are now gone. Maybe not. This is the time to bring it back. That final tick on the board, Ray.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to get it. 20 seconds left on the clock. They have to win the next fight as well to be able to get this cart to the destination, 25 meters. So it's going to come down to one fight between both of these teams. No ultimates in sight for Northeastern. Maybe you get this Kraken impact for Conestoga. They'll probably get this invisible boundary, but that's all they're going to have.
I really like Conestoga's macro.
They don't touch in time.
But it wasn't enough. They had the bigger picture, but it was the 1v1s that Casual Scrub was able to take. Looked so good.
It did look so good, and Northeastern Black now able to take a 2-0 series lead on the #1 overall seed, Conestoga Condors, and put themselves on match point to punch their ticket to the grand finals.
That's right. Both these teams have looked very good heading into this part, but now Northeastern Black, they've done their homework. They know how Conestoga likes to play. We're going to have to see some major adjustments coming out from Conestoga into their next map. That being said, though, I mean, it's got to begin with the picks and bans, right? Oh, what is this?
I agree 100%. Sub will be coming in, but before we get into all of that, Northeastern Black is up 2-0 in the series on match point. We're going to take a quick break. Make sure you guys get a snack. Make sure you guys refill your drinks and get ready, because Conestoga gonna have to win the next 3 maps in a row if they want to punch it to the grand finals. We'll be right back.
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
Just reach. On the other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, do you the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't put it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
I think it's on the other side. Go.
I mean, look, you can be one of the most unstoppable teams in the universe, but if you're down 0-2 right now, you gotta find a way to make it back. My name is Keg. I'm joined by Ray once more. Ray, man, what's the strategy? How does Conestoga get back into it?
I don't know, man. It just feels like these ban and pick phases have been extremely important. Felt like, yeah, the Magnetos were kind of important at that one, but it feels like at the end of the day, the duelists have been running the lobbies a little bit. But it's been great adjustments coming in from Northeastern, like who expected the Squirrel Girl to come out and be the big hero in a lot of the situations. So I'm excited. As we do know, map number 3, it could be our last map, so they got to make it count. If you're Conestoga, Ysidro Path is where we're going.
Yeah, the Yggdrasil Path. I gotta say, I'm a little worried. I don't want to be like a negative Nancy towards Conestoga. They've looked great so far. The issue I have is that we saw the picks and bends from Conestoga look so good on Central Park to be attacker-sided, to cap that first domination point and get all the other payload points after that. The defense wasn't as much. So I'm really looking at Conestoga's defense going into this next matchup to see whether or not they can make the adjustments needed from last game.
We're still going to see Conestoga getting that rocket off of the field. They just don't want to have to deal with it. And this time they will protect that. Yeah, this time they will protect the Emma Frost, as felt like that was duly missing from them. I mean, it felt like both teams had pretty good Emma Frost. So I think that'll even out in the end, but it might, allow them to, it has the option of playing that 3 duelist setup where, first map was a little bit closer, as now we're going to see the Magneto ban coming in from Northeastern.
Yeah, Magneto ban can be huge here. Essentially solidifies a secondary Vanguard the way Conestoga likes to play, either as a Captain America, maybe a Venom, a Thing, or more importantly, maybe just a single Vanguard comp.
As we did see, Hawkeye was also banned. We haven't seen that all series yet, but it also has been banned to every single map as well. So No surprises there as Hella gets protected for the side Northeastern. Scrub has, been a very good Hella.
Doctor Strange.
As Punisher gets protected, again, not super shocking.
12 seconds. Maybe they're choosing not to ban Doctor Strange. That would be an adjustment.
Yeah, we have seen that every single time so far, but yeah, there it is again. Doctor Strange is going to be banned. And what we had seen, this is where we saw like the shocking Emma Frost ban from Northeastern last round. What direction do they look to go this time? I mean, Luna Snow's on the table if they want to take that off of the of the field, but you never know. As Wolverine is going to be the final ban.
Okay. The Wolverine's gone. Could mean that we see a more defensive-heavy group setup from Northeastern. We saw Girion play that pretty well, and it worked very effectively. Even when I thought it would be countered more by Kip's Punisher, wasn't necessarily the case. So I think maybe the group confidence has risen a lot for Northeastern.
It's interesting too because Wolverine can be, a big like Vanguard disruptor, where you're just, getting on top of them, taking them away from the front line, and doing a lot of damage. We just haven't. I mean, outside of last map, especially with Emma Frost back on the field, it's more likely we might see the one Vanguard setup. So weird that they were looking to get rid of that, but I guess we'll be finding out soon enough what these teams and directions are going. And it does seem like it is once again, at least for Northeastern, nope, they're going to go Emma Frost with Captain America for this map.
Okay. I'm all for that. I think Darm has proven that he's been very good about being frontwards facing and taking 1v1s. He won't have the same damage output as he would on the Winter Soldier, but I think the cap will be enough to disrupt things.
Nigerian going over to the Moon Knight again. It didn't bear them much success on the previous map. We'll have to see how it does for them on Yggdrasil path. And we do have Casual Scrub on the Hella, who's been shown to be very prolific on that, so that's definitely going to help out.
Yeah, I could see the idea maybe a Girian's just looking to rack up damage, and the Hella would be there to get the final strike. Might be more difficult though with Mystic rocking the Hulk. Very good about getting in people's faces, has 1 billion HP, very tough to get past. And alongside Namor, you have a lot of great anti-backlining utility with his Gamma Monstro. But that being said though, hasn't been working out too well for Northeastern. It feels like each player is getting melted one by one. Silly Shadow's been doing a great job pushing things up and taking the fights directly to Northeastern themselves. And I don't think we've really seen a response yet from Northeastern.
They're doing the smart thing, though, backing up, becoming a full group of 6 to re-engage. Here we go. This is the fight that Northeastern is hoping to win.
Okay. Visible boundaries out. Mystic Rai taking down Uwu James. It's going to be a good start. Captain America taking the 1v1 punish up against Kip. This is a great pendulum swing. The Psionic Seduction is out from Silly Shadow. It's a good start. Invisible boundary as well. Conestoga, they bought enough time, hopefully now for the respawns and cap the first point. They did lose at least one strategist in the ordeal, but Northeastern's pushed so far back that it's negligible.
Yeah, it looks like they are just going to back out. The Incredible Hulk getting the pressure, but not going to matter. Mystic Ride just going to go back to the spawn room. They got what they needed, which was that first point cap. And once again, with relative ease, just like what happened on Central Park, the big question is what adjustments do we see from Northeastern and where do they start to plant their foot in the ground?
Yeah, I mean, this was the point in Central Park where they started to have a bit more of an adjustment. Maybe it's a little bit earlier. It came out towards the end of P3. Agirion's going to go back to the Winter Soldier. Final Judgment is out once more from Kip. Meltdowns ensue, but this Captain America is looking to tank almost all of that damage. For the first time in a while, Kip only getting one pick off of his ult. It feels underwhelming.
Yeah, the Freedom Charge and the Fate of Both Worlds comes through pretty strong as we see Captain America trying to find some picks in the backline, but at the same time, Hulk Smash is out for Mystic Riot in the backline. Darm getting picked at the same time, and now Oli Winter, no Vanguards left on the field for Northeastern as the Emma Frost Silly Shadow continuing to push up. One more fight opportunity on the second point for Northeastern.
And this has looked so good for both of the Vanguards. Conestoga using this Hulk alongside the Emma Frost to have that pushing power and really make sure that both of the duelists who on Northeastern have proven to be good at 1v1s cannot take the 1v1s and have to focus the Vanguards have given so much space for Conestoga.
Yeah, over 5 minutes when they capped that point for the side of Conestoga. Feeling very much similar to that Central Park vibes. Northeastern can re-engage. They're going to have 3 ultimates. Castle Scrub will have that final judgment. Let's see if they can take advantage and find a lot of kills with it.
It's going to be the name of the game. 3 ults available now. Northeastern, 2 of which duelist ults. Kraken Arm would be huge here. Silly Shadow's gone. Really just a dance to figure out if and when these strategist ults will come out. Bush Llama's looking to counter the invisible boundary against the ult immediately. Kraken Arm is finally out. That's Beano's gone. Bush Llama opting not to use the invisible boundary, instead saving it.
I think that was a very smart save. They're going to get Kip as well. So back to spawn room you go. You got to waste a lot of time. So you got to, use these ults judiciously and being able to have the defensive capability of the invisible boundary to allow time for Uwu James to build up to the fate of both worlds. It's great. And they're going to be able to follow that up with damage from this Goddess of Death coming online from Darm.
It is these more funnel heavy sites on the payload that Northeastern has been good at defending on. Kip, though, final judgment's out once again. This has been the most dominant force in the entire server. Another critical pieces of Northeastern are gone. The responses, they attempt to be there, but Northeastern, they're struggling.
Yeah, the Goddess of Death is going to come out, not going to find anything, because unfortunately, Uwu James was not able to build up to that fate of both worlds in time. Nigerian Vesper thought they could be sneaky and find something, but they got found out and sent back to the spawn room. Same with Darm.
Uwu James does have fate of both worlds to use here. Agirian swaps over to the Mantis, now triple strats. I believe this is the first time from their team we're seeing it now. It was on Central Park. Conestoga brought out the triple strats themselves, and it made a world of a difference. But that payload is pushed so far up. And Northeastern, they have been such a good attacking team, even back on Central Park on payload. But the convoy, it's simply too strong. Simply Shadow removes only Winter. And now there just has not been a response from Northeastern. We finally see the fate of both worlds brought out. It does keep things aligned a little bit longer. Kip looking for that impact. Bide their time. The Namor, with the help of Mystic Rai, able to get a 3K immediately. Northeastern, they're grasping at straws for a chance to touch the convoy, but it seems like it's all but too late. Ray, this was so dominant from Conestoga.
Yeah, and I felt like they came out with a compositional swap, and it's really working out in their advantage, bringing out the tankier Incredible Hulk to be able to hold the line a lot better. And I like the Namor pick coming in, being able to just stay in that back line, throw out a ton of damage, and those Horn of Proteuses are also extremely susceptible. They're not always going to find kills, but getting that stun in and allowing damage follow-up.
Just a big matter of seeing now how Northeastern's going to counter. They have the potential Psylocke, and that'll be good for the back line, but I'm looking at Beano's now with the Monstros, and that should be, well, okay. I was going to say that's a Psylocke counter directly, but Agirian's going to swap back to the Vanguard, knowing full well that the group worked well in Central Park. Might be able to recreate that magic again.
As for the side of Conestoga on this defense, no surprises here, no changes whatsoever. They have seemed to found some magic with this Emma Frost Incredible Hulk lineup. And, as you mentioned, same thing with the Incredible Hulk and the Namor team up, being able to get those gammas down. Those can be sneakily, like, if you don't realize it and how long it's been connected to you, you're going to get evaporated pretty quickly.
It does seem like Northeastern do want to go for that Psylocke. It just wasn't Agirian. Instead, it's all damage. Triple duelist, a single Vanguard, and double strategist. I mean, this is a high-risk, high-reward play, Ray.
That it is. The question is, will they be able to capitalize? Darm already going down. Seems like, we were, a little trepidatious about this Psylocke, and already out the gate, not looking so good.
And that's 2 of 3. The duelists gone already. Defensive side, it's going to take longer for them to get back to the point, too. Oh, it's going to Actually, I apologize. I was thinking of them as the defenders again. They're on the attack. They can respawn in no time. It makes more sense to go for the high-risk, high-reward strat. That being said, though, Darm and Scrub, they're looking for that more backline control. Agarian's going to be there for the front line. Mix-up. Slay down that damage. Agarian does remove Mystic Ryan. That's an important pick early on. For this defense, though, having the longer respawn now for the Hulk is a different story.
As we're going to see more pressure being thrown onto this front line, the Emma Frost now going to go down. That's going to spell disaster for the side of Conestoga. Out comes that Squirrel Tsunami, just continuing to apply pressure. Only Winter has come into this attack, firing on all cylinders. First point cap going to come in for Northeastern Black.
Yeah, and at this point, again, seems like both teams, they're very favorable on the attacking side. It's that defense that's been a struggle. Conestoga, though, I do have a lot of faith in this Hulk pick. I think they can make it work as long as there's a way to break up the Psylocke and the Squirrel Girl matchup. There's just so much firepower behind them now.
Yeah, and this is, you know, where Northeastern has to really apply the pressure. Conestoga was able to push this second point with relative ease with the ults they're able to gather. We're going to need the same thing from Northeastern because they're going to keep up with a time bank of 2.5 minutes that Conestoga was able to get.
Let's see if they're able to do it, though. A lot of ults available for Northeastern, but the same can be said for Conestoga. Darm and Nagirian, though, do take very important picks. Kip, of course, does get the trade. Squirrel Tsunami, it could actually be a great leading spot into securing this next point as long as Casual Scrub pushes up far enough to do it to get past the strategists. Double strategist ults available, though, from Conestoga. Have to play this carefully. You don't want any of the ults on the attacking side wasted or the space will not be created.
Final Judgment now coming out, which is going to provoke a lot of ults from Northeastern. That's 3 that were thrown in. Able to get a Jerry and Vesper. Fate of both worlds, keeping up so many players. Final Judgment not able to secure any kills because of the Horde of Proteus. They're able to just avoid it in time. Still has the Dance of the Butterfly available. Now the Eternal Bond for Uwu James is going to come out on and provide a lot of sustain. Same with the Invisible Boundary for the side of Bush Llama. Can picks be found? Here comes the Dance of the Butterfly.
There it is. An elegant ballet of destruction there. Almost took down MGD, but unfortunately that just was not enough damage. Beanos is there for the counter. And even then, though, Northeastern are forced to duck away. They have a lot of time to play with still. But finally now the defensive prowess around this choke has made Conestoga look so dominant.
Yeah, both sides threw out a lot of ults, but in the same time, Casual Scrub has built up to that Squirrel Tsunami once again, so they can look to throw that in, as you mentioned. It could be that opening piece they're waiting for to try and, you know, at least force people back.
It's so good at destroying the back line, but it was brought out so far up, it's practically the counter against Silly Shadow, and unfortunately, doesn't last that long. Finds 0 impact.
Yeah, and then only Winter's going to go down. They do get Kip in response, but, you know, with the spawn advantage now in the favor of Conestoga, it feels like you need more if you're the side of Northeastern to get this point across.
Yeah. Counter now. Looking to be found. The ultim for Northeastern did not go in their favor. Beanos has his ult set up and ready to go. Silly Shadow, once again, fast track for the ult themselves. Great way of using shield to bounce around things. Maybe, just maybe using the Yonk in the back line could provide some breakage, but Agarian has struggled on this Moon Knight the entire series.
They do find Beano, and that's probably the go sign for the side of Northeastern. It has taken them a lot longer on the second point than they were hoping for, but this should be the ability to get this done. MGD and NVU are going to both use the Fate of Both Worlds. Hannah Conchu comes out as well, but feels it's just not enough.
It really isn't. And even though there's a triple duelist stack up from Northeastern, there should be enough firepower to get past Conestoga here on this choke. It simply hasn't been enough. Only Winter needs support on the Vanguard front.
And they are going to find Beano on the way out. And just look at this, 3 minutes for Northeastern. Even if they have a perfect attack on this third point, they're going to end up with a smaller time bank than Conestoga. So that second point defense from Conestoga was huge.
It absolutely was, and Conestoga now in even tighter space might be able to recreate that magic again. Remember, The point now, if we go to overtime, could be facing elimination for Conestoga in this series. They do not want to go down just yet. They've been relatively flawless, the #1 seed, I believe, throughout the entire tournament in this division. And they don't want to show any, what's the word? They don't want to show any disillusion just yet. That being said, though, Dance of the Butterfly is available. 2 out of 3 now of the ultimates for these duelists can be procced out. As I say that, the Squirrel Tsunami is finally back online. We could see that here. It's the Squirrel Tsunami countered out by the Namor. Oh, not by much, though. Darm is able to remove Silly Shadow. That's one Vanguard gone. The Convoy's made certainly a lot of distance now, but the healing prowess has stayed such a foundation for Northeastern Black throughout the entirety of this attack. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be the end of Mystic Rai. Both of these Vanguards have struggled now in Conestoga.
Yeah, that they have. They did get the Incredible Hulk, Mystic Rai, off of the field. So that's at least we're going to see Mystic Rai also go over to the Black Panther. Fate of Both Worlds now coming out. Big trap onto Silly Shadow. They're not able to capitalize on the kill because of the Fate of the Both Worlds, but it definitely stopped the pressure from being continuously applied, as we're seeing now the Fate of Both Worlds for NVU coming out, as they're going to look to get aggressive. Eternal Bond still available for Ulu James.
Oh, my friend, you mentioned the Black Panther. We've seen the impact that Mystic Rai can have on this character. And again, such tight corridor. You're on the defense. Quick respawns. This should be so much impact in Psylocke Falls. It's the entirety of Conestoga. They've wiped out Northeastern. And with 1 minute left and no Doctor Strange available, there's only one more brute force attempt from Northeastern off the respawn of Winter to try again and make this a flawless series.
Yeah, I think this is going to be heavily reliant on Only Winter with the Psionic Seduction. Oh, Casual Scrubs going down. That's not good. I'd be looking to back up and re-engage. You're only going to get one good fight left. And the reason why this fight's going to be reliant on Only Winter, the Psionic Seduction being able to stop this final judgment.
We'll have to wait and see. Chicken or the egg, which one will come first? It's going to be Only Winter to fall. Kip has no stopping power when it comes to his ultimate anymore. There is the Eternal Bond. Sure, that's a start. He could have gone to the back lines and maybe removed some players, but he's going to bide his time. Wait for overtime to strike instead. Of course, as I say that, he says, nah, I'm going to do my own thing. And he slaughters Agurian on the thing. Another Vanguard gone. 5 seconds left. We head into OT. Northeastern nowhere to be found. OT doesn't exist. And that's Conestoga finding their way back into the series. It is a really great first step. And remember, the way it works in NECC is that there's the opening map bans, I should say. Then you choose the first map. The loser of the first game chooses the next map. And then the loser of that one will choose the next one. Conestoga's lost twice, so they were able to choose Central Park, and then they chose Yggdrasil. Those are both very convoy-heavy maps, and we did see Conestoga wake up a lot more, especially on Yggdrasil. If I'm Northeastern and I want to close this out, Ray, I'm going to a domination map. Oh, I apologize. There is the rotation. Yeah. So we would be going back to domination. I apologize. They get to choose the map within the mode. Yes. I feel like no matter what, Northeastern's got this as long as they can be as dominant as they were back on Hell's Heaven. Yeah, I really feel like for Northeastern, they have so many options on the table. There really isn't a weak option, I think, in terms of domination, but we'll have to wait and see. There's plenty of data now for Conestoga to operate off the individual players on Northeastern that they could still go for a lot of really good counter picks and bans. Yeah, I mean, the first time we saw the Bannon picks come out from both teams, I believe it was Conestoga that was very anti-flyer heavy. On Hell's Heaven, we haven't really seen any flyers at all. But guess what? There's plenty of time to decide. We have a small break coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, do you the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there.
Hello, NECC Vibe Stream. We are finally back again, and guess what? It's not a flawless series anymore. Conestoga brought it back, game number 3, but there is a problem. They've been doing really good on the convoy maps. We're heading over to a domination map, and it's whatever map we can see from Northeastern that they want to choose. So, is it going to go to a game 5, Ray? I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be the big question. We do know it's either going to be Krakoa or Hala Djalia, and it looks like it. Burning T'Challa, I'm sorry. Burning T'Challa is going to be that map of choice.
Ooh. Now, remember back on Hell's Heaven, we saw Conestoga go for bans that were very anti-flyer. We can see flyers on Hell's Heaven. I feel like at this level of play, it's kind of 50, maybe 60-40. But for Burning T'Challa, I think that's a very different story. I would go for those same bans again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Burning T'Challa, I mean, the map that's showing on screen, the waterfall map, that one's going to be a lot more close quarters. There's not as much room to work with because of, the enclosed cave areas. And obviously there's like the tiered high ground and stuff, but it's not like super flyer oriented and stuff like that. But some of the other maps are going to be much more so, like the one indoor map with the spaceship in the middle, that one, a lot more room to work with if you're a flyer. So it's a map that brings a lot of flexibility within its submaps to where some things will work on one submap and other things won't.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'm also thinking like a middle ground solution too could be like a Star-Lord maybe, where you can fly. You're absolutely able to fly with his ultimate. And I think that could be enough to supplement things too, where you can have your cake and eat it too. But hey, well, guess what? We're heading over to Picks and Bans. We get to see whether or not Conestoga want to maintain that same prowess, and they are just very anti-rodent.
Yeah, I mean, it did go very strong on that first domination map, so no surprises here. And anti-storm, I can't blame Northeastern for that. I am I'm just bad at aiming, so I don't like any flyers. So I'm just totally okay with that either way. Oh, they're gonna protect the Hawkeye this time. We have
Oh,
seen it ban every single map in the past, and now they're protecting it as Emma Frost is the protect for Conestoga.
I'd be so mad if I was Conestoga. They banned it every single game, and the one time they don't have the opportunity to do it, they can't ban it. That's so unlucky.
Yeah, is Luna Snow now going to get banned, making things very interesting. It's been such a staple for both of these teams. The Fate of Both Worlds is just such a good ultimate, and now we're just seeing it completely banned outright. The question is, what does Northeastern do in response? They did not like that Hulk adjustment in the last map, and they are getting rid of it.
Yeah, I think they definitely want to try to cherry pick Conestoga to play Thing or Venom again. Those have been weaker Vanguards and usually a lot better for the Punisher pick, which I don't think we're going to see a reserve from Northeastern. That's more of a Conestoga thing. But these have been wild picks and bans so far, man. So, Invisible Woman, we've seen that before. That's not crazy. Conestoga, Magneto, okay. They want to really rely on that double Vanguard.
Yeah, it's been a main protect for them. They've had situations where, Magneto has kind of worked out for them in the past. The big question is, where do they look to go with this final ban given, the Hawkeye protect and all that? Do they look to target maybe a Hela? We've seen Scrub play that very well. Squirrel Girl's always a ban. But again, Doctor Strange has always been their last ban, and they're keeping it that way once again.
Really wonder how these games would turn out differently if we saw Northeastern able to use a Doctor Strange.
I mean, fair point. I mean, they could have protected instead of the Hawkeye, so you
know
never
what? That's
know.
a very good point.
Maybe they're not that concerned about the Doctor Strange, as a final ban is going to be the Loki.
Okay. So no Doctor Strange, no Luna, no Rocket. So that's going to essentially guarantee the Invisible Woman. We see that locked in for Northeastern. The Cloak and Dagger 2. There is an opportunity, and we see this a lot in Beard and T'Challa back with Sentinels would rock in Ignite. They could go for the triple res Star-Lord comp here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in play for that possibility, but I guess we're going to have to find out soon enough as we take a look at both teams. Conestoga, no surprises here, going with that Magneto and Emma Frost lineup. So no Luna Snow, so now we're going to see mostly, Cloak and Daggers, Invisible Woman's, as we're seeing that combo immediately coming out. And then they're going to go with the Winter Soldier and Hela, which always a good always a good duelist combo. For the side of Northeastern, they will pull out that Hawkeye. I mean, considering, you protected it, I would hope you were going to play that, which is what Casual Scrub is going to do, who's been so good on the Squirrel Girl, the Hela. This time I'm going to go with Hawkeye. And no surprises here, they will stick with the Invisible Woman, and they're going to throw in Cloak and Dagger.
It's going to be big tempo setting for this first point, Ray. Very important to see. Double Vanguards are out now from Conestoga, not the triple strategist that we've seen that rocked before. And it's immediately first point. Spear heading towards Conestoga. As we say that, though, maybe we're seeing why this Hawkeye's been a permanent ban against Northeastern. A dome straight to the brain that's going to be kept on. And a great start here to rack up damage against Conestoga.
Yeah, they're still going to need more. Casual Scrub is going to go down more. So, if you're the side of Northeastern, you got to find another pick, as point capture seems like it's going to come in for the side of Northeastern. We saw Darm having a little bit of trouble there on the stairs. Picks traded out once again, but you've traded a Vanguard for a duelist. Doesn't matter. I think now that you found the Cloak and Dagger, that's back to the spawn room you go, Northeastern.
Absolutely. Northeastern. They've been fighting for this point. Still hasn't been fully capped yet. 1v1 though, the isolation. Casual Scrub can't quite find the follow-up. And so staggered, yeah. You have to fight as a team and regroup yet again.
I'm thinking about it more, Keg, and I think that Luna Snow ban was in response to the protect on the Hawkeye. That team up where you could freeze and stun with that arrow from Hawkeye is absolutely insane.
I think you bring up a really good point. I could definitely see that. I also think it's two birds with one stone. Conestoga, they were struggling against the double Fate of Both Worlds. And so just getting rid of a lot more of those invincibility ultimates, if possible, is a really good opportunity. You do also have the Cloak and Dagger out now. Mystic Rye can bring out Meteor M once we see Eternal Bond come out. Ult for an ult, a soul for a soul maybe. We're certainly seeing that now with Conestoga. They are plowing through Northeastern on their own map pick. And they are struggling to find the way back practically out of their own spawn.
Yeah, that's a lot of ults for both teams coming up. No Kraken impact for Conestoga as they're able to use it to snowball that fight. Let's see what Northeastern can do. Everything available at their disposal.
That's right. 6 ults. Now or never. You won't get a better time to take this all back. 60% now. Conestoga. Hawkeye looking to find that damage. NBU still goes down immediately, has not had the chance to bring out the invisible boundary just yet. Kip removes with Goddess of Death 2 of the duelists, all the duelists that Northeastern have. And with the 6 ultimates that could have been brought out off that push of the Eternal Bond, Ray, we saw 1.
Yeah, that was a 2-for-1 exchange for Conestoga, so you'll even take that. So now you have 4 ults to combat the 5 coming in from Northeastern Blackstuff. You have a good fighting chance of the side of Conestoga. And if you're Northeastern, you can't look to blow all the ults just to get this point back. You got to hold it for longer, too. Great isolation onto Only Winter.
There it is. 1 Vanguard gone. Final Judgment is out. All the ults are starting to plow away. A Souls for a Soul once more. Mystic Rye falls to the hands of, well, I mean, it's going to be Darm. But even then, Northeastern, they finally capped the point back, but they're going to have to recreate the same 0 to 99 they did back on Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, we know they are fully capable as Vesper able to take down Kip. And that's just going to be a nice stagger to gain a lot of free percentage. And they're still going to have that Meteor M and the Hunter's Sight available. But Conestoga, they have a lot at their disposal as well.
That's right. I'm looking at the Eternal Bond from MGD alongside that Kraken impact. Absolutely could come out in unison. Have a way of taking the point back again. It is a mess of ultimates and abilities. Any which way you look, positioning is going to be the most important thing ever. Only Winter needs to survive, and Darm attempts to survive, but unable to do so. It's Casual Scrub for 1 to alleviate the Christmas tree of red that we see from Conestoga. But it doesn't last much longer. Conestoga take back the point, and they're looking good on Buren and T'Challa.
Yeah, that's a great opening gambit. Again, I talked about it. We've been waiting to see this team that was undefeated, only dropped 2 maps on the season. They have definitely woken up. They found their mojo. They found their way in against Northeastern Black. And now they take the first point on Buren and T'Challa. But it's not over yet. You can't afford to let up at all, because in the blink of an eye, Northeastern will sense that and look to capitalize. And both teams also coming in this next point, both able to hold on to some key ultimates. That invisible boundary will be definitely needed to deal with that Hunter's Sight plus the Eternal Bond.
I'm eyeing that Adam Warlock right now. Having that resurrect on the upper platforms of this site has been very powerful in the past. And I'm hoping we can see that follow-up. A lot of teams, they bring out the Adam here, but it's the Star-Lord, the follow-up, that provides the extra punch to this beautiful sandwich. But it doesn't have meat at the moment, it's all bread.
But to see, as we're seeing Casual Scrub just lay down a lot of fire, still has that ult available. Eternal Bond also still available for both teams, as Vesper finds an opening pick.
Yeah, huge tempo setter for Northeastern now. They get onto the point immediately. Cap it with relative ease. Players in Conestoga being taken down 1 by 1. Forced for the respawn now. Conestoga back away. Very curious to see the big pendulum swing.
Yeah, and best part, no ults needed. They're able to hold on to it. Now they're going to have more to be able to get, and they get that late stagger onto Kip. This is just how you needed this next point to open up if you are Northeastern Black. And it looks like Conestoga is going to pat the high ground. I think Northeastern has now realized this and is like, crap, we got to rotate.
All right, well, it's an now or never moment. It's still fairly early on in the first point, but if this upper strategy doesn't work, Conestoga, they've used most of the environment to get back onto the platforms. Once again, they do have the buffer room of having the first point at their disposal, but they want to aim for Game 5. Invisible boundaries out from both teams. Goddess of Death available now from Kip, realizing this is not going to work, relegates it away. Casual Scrub blindly firing into the group, looking to find anything, but oh, the Psionic Seduction does not get past Beanos, and that's going to be the Winter Soldier to fall. A lot of firepower suddenly lost.
Yeah, Eternal Bond now coming out from Conestoga, trying to give the team that much needed sustain. And still a Karmic Revival available for Darm as well. So at any point, the Revive can come out. But no picks have been found for the side of Conestoga. There's going to be one with NVU, but there's the Karmic Revival. They need that support back on the field.
Absolutely need it back, and that's one Resurrect. They have to get the Strategist available now. It is a war zone yet again. Northeastern's looking at 75 to recreate history and bring things back. It was Conestoga, essentially a 0 to 100, and now Northeastern could do the opposite. Kip is not finding nearly enough damage on this Hela into the group to find enough that can take down one elimination. Mystic looking to find that push. They have the walls in the way. It's a triple Vanguard composition from Conestoga, and all that's left now, I don't even know if there's really any duelists except for Kip. It's all the strategists left instead. It's a battle to see whether it can be enough. 2 strategists, 3 Vanguards, and 1 duelist. A composition you very rarely see, and there may be a reason why. No pushing power available now. Everyone's separated out. So if they can get this impactful frag, and they do, it works. Darm does fall. 1 left, Invisible Boundary out for the stall, and it brings Northeastern back into the fray.
Eternal Bond's now going to come out. Meteor M as well. Can they find a pick with it? It's going to be important. They do not find the pick, but they are still out there. Only Winter is able to find one ultimately in the end. Eternal Bond's now going to come out from them as now that Psionic Seduction, but it's not enough. They're found. Players are dropping for Conestoga, and just when you thought Northeastern was going to have to come back, they punch back harder and get 100-0 to fight back and force map number 3.
Really great comeback here. 1-1 now for the points taken. We go to Imperial Institute of Science as the final point. This is the one that you were highlighting before we got into picks and bans, Ray, about how if you want to go for a flyer comp, it's pretty open, and there's a lot of elevation here that you could be able to backline pretty effectively with it.
I have really liked for Northeastern this adjustment to bring out that 3rd strategist and have that revive available. Darm definitely shifted the tides, and they're going to be close to another Karmic Revival coming into his first fight. But they are going to have to be dealing with both that Invisible Boundary and likely a Meteor M. So you got to give a slight nod to Conestoga possibly being able to win this first fight just because they're going to have 2 ults at their disposal.
Pressure's probably amounting now for Conestoga. They've had...
Yeah, if they don't win this,
yeah,
they're gone. They're out of the tournament.
And they've been the number 1 seed. They've looked so good. They've been essentially flawless. Starts off early.
Here we go. Kip set up on the turret, looking for a lot of early damage. Not going to be able to find it as they're giving a lot of time for Darm to build up to this Karmic Revival, however. So, you know, by the time they start getting ready to use these ults, they might be able to pull off a res.
It does feel like both teams are purposely biding their time before they can cap the point, though. As we see that, though, it's going to be a Girion attempting to make their way in. That's 2 Vanguards gone off of Northeastern. Not the best heal to start things off on if you're in the Northeastern camp, if you want to take this victory away and eliminate Conestoga. But if you're a big fan of Conestoga, this is looking pretty healthy early on. They have that push once again that they've been so dominant at.
Yeah, they will begin their players back. The Strangling Vortex, however, for Beano is going to be available, and that's quite the powerful ultimate in this game. Just get so many players together to throw down and dish out a lot of damage. Hunter Sight available for Casual Scrub as well.
And those heals coming out from Conestoga have been so powerful. We saw Kip get damaged by the bow of Casual Scrub. Immediately just gets healed back to full HP. Kip doesn't even need Final Judgment. Has the turret available, but could bring it out now. Full-on eliminations every which way you look. It's the Karmic Revival out. Is that going to be a good spot to do it? Will anyone get eliminated immediately? No. But my God, does it clap back? It's Silly Shadow, Psionic Seduction, seducing everyone to death. and it's just immediately a meltdown. And the person that revived Northeastern is the only one to survive.
And 60% and counting for Conestoga. So, I mean, with how long these fights have been taking, you're looking at one more opportunity for Northeastern Black. They will have a Psionic Seduction and a Meteor M to try, and the Psionic Seduction is going to be very important trying to shut down Kip with this final judgment.
Might be a now or never moment for Northeastern. The advantage they had about having the series lead will go away if they don't convert this 80%. They have to bring this 0 to 100. Final judgment is out. They don't want to face elimination either. But it's Kip once more, focusing on the vanguards. It's enough pressure, but they're not moving away. It fires back. Counter scrub. Casual scrub removes Kip once again. This could be the beginning. This is what Northeastern needs. They got rid of the tip of the spear, and now they can move on forwards down to the rest and remove the entire object.
Oh, very unfortunate. I don't think you wanted to use that invisible boundary there. I mean, you get the point and you're forcing them back, but I feel like you wish you could have held on to that for future fights. So it's going to rely pretty heavily on Casual Scrub to find a lot with this Hunter's Sight and look just for early picks with that bow and arrow.
Yeah, have to play the same push-up game that Conestoga love to play. There is that Groot available now from Beanos. Remember, triple Vanguard, Conestoga, a little unusual to see. Didn't quite work out well in the last point. Could work out here with things a little bit more choke heavy. Meteor M's available now from Mystic. May try to launch that encounter of the Eternal Bond that Ubu James now has available. Doesn't do it. Beanos are shut down completely. They recap. I don't think there will be an OT.
No, there definitely will not be. I was just waiting for that. The Strangling Vortex was going to be everything you needed, and they were all just grouped up together, too close. You had to know that ultimate was on the line. Big mistake from Northeastern. Conestoga forcing a map number 5, trying to reverse sweep.
Really great effort overall. I had my doubts about the triple Vanguard comp, but Conestoga made me eat my words. They looked great in the process, and I think the team chemistry has completely changed from game 1.
Yeah, they look like the team we expected, that favored number 1 seed. One more map to go to decide it all. And man, I'm excited because there's only 2 maps, and Northeastern Black, the 2 maps at their disposal to pick. We got Hall of Dajalia, another Black Panther map, and we have Shin Shibuya, my background.
Okay. Speaking of backgrounds, we go back to our beautiful faces. Gotta say, things have really heated up. It was pretty Northeast dominant in the beginning. Conestoga have brought it back. What are your expectations for Game 5?
That is the question of the day, because it's felt like, you know, it's been close, but there's been other points where it's been dominant. So I'm expecting both teams to come out with their absolute best, and I'm just hoping for a great nap. It feels like, I don't know, man. I can't wait. This Rocket Band seems to finally be coming to roost constantly for the side of Conestoga.
Yeah, I mean, it's the damage output that seems to be a big problem now for Northeastern. They just haven't been able to break past the triple Vanguards. We are not going to be going to a break before Game 5. We're heading straight into it when all the players are ready. Going back to what you were mentioning, right? That Rocket Ban. The Hawkeye that's been consistently banned, I think it was a little underwhelming in Biren T'Challa, man. I don't know if we're going to see the ban or even the pick come out.
Yeah, that is the question of the day, as map number 5 has been selected. I actually forgot about this one. Symbiotic Surface.
Okay.
Available. Okay. So that was what was picked. I forgot this map existed. So yep, there we go, folks.
Are you a Clintar enjoyer?
Okay. I like the aesthetic and I like the look of the map.
That's a good start.
But I hate playing on it. I hate playing on it.
All right, well, we're in picks and bans now. Let's see how the players feel about playing on Clintar 2. I feel like I'm in the minority. I don't mind playing Clintar. You know, obviously there's very steamroll heavy games. I like the games where I steamroll. Those are fun. But it's a very, very 50-50 match sometimes, but probably not in the ways that the developers wanted it to be.
Luna Snow going to get protected this time around. Same with that Emma Frost. No surprises there. Now let's see what ban follow. I mean, with the Luna Snow being protected now, do they look to ban the Hawkeye with how good Scrub was at it because they don't want that team up available? Because it is quite a strong one. I remember when, I was polishing up on my knowledge for this game, casting it. I saw that. I'm like, that's kind of broken. But it looks like Squirrel Girl is going to be the ban of choice. It kind of makes sense. Central Park, Squirrel Girl went kind of crazy. Symbiotic Surface, a lot of chokes for Squirrel Girl just to fire down and throw, just unleash a lot of damage. So there's no surprises there.
Yeah, curious to see what this reserve will be. Whether or not Northeastern will take this opportunity to lock in the Hawkeye. They might.
I would definitely be thinking about it if I was the side, unless they feel they need the Doctor Strange. Yeah, there it is.
Oh!
The protect on the Doctor Strange.
So here's the big question now, Ray. What is the final ban going to be for Conestoga? It's always been Doctor Strange.
I feel like it's got to be Hawkeye, right? You can't let them have Doctor Strange and Luna Snow and Hawkeye, right?
That's too much.
That feels like you're giving them every tool they could want at their disposal. But we'll have to see, because, even if you don't have Hawkeye, I feel like Hela is just as good as a substitute on this map as any. But let's see what direction Conestoga is going to look to go. And the final ban is going to be Scarlet Witch?
I guess maybe for the Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch team up, I suppose.
I didn't think that one was that strong. Like I've seen it and I know what it does, but I'm like, is it that good? But Invisible Woman as that is the first time we're seeing that band coming up. So the question is, are we going to see a bunch of Luna Snow Cloak and Daggers possibly with no rockets as well? So this is quite the ban phase we've seen here. This throws a lot of wrenches into this.
Where to begin, right? I think the idea now for Northeastern is to play very dive heavy up against Conestoga. You get rid of the Invisible Woman, no Loki available.
Do they want to play dive heavy? Because they're protecting Doctor Strange. It's like Doctor Strange is no dive.
Yeah, but he has portals. I think that's the big factor. You have the shields as well. He can dive with his melee. But I could see a reality where you swap around, maybe beyond Casual Scrub being the Hawkeye, back to the Winter Soldier, and you just collapse on the supports that don't have the same utility as, say, the doppelgangers that Loki has.
I feel like Northeastern's feeling really good. They go, you let us keep Doctor Strange, we protected our Luna Snow, and you didn't ban our Hawkeye, so we get our Hawkeye Luna Snow team up. Like, they are sitting pretty right now.
All right, let's see how impactful it will come. Vinos and Conestoga starting off on their attacking side. Is this going to be an instant portal? The answer looks like yes. Is Northeastern set up for it?
It feels like, they have continuously been good for it. Yeah, they found it.
Wow, that was not nearly as Northeastern favored as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's a pick for a pick, a Vanguard for a duelist, but that second pick coming out from Conestoga there, that's what you're looking for on those flanks. Conestoga going to be able to take the first point in the blink of an eye.
Wow, without contest, this has been the easiest point we've seen taken by either team so far this entire series. Vinos holding the line once more. We are seeing the triple Vanguard once again, single duelist from Conestoga. It worked out well before. They're going to keep it going. And really, the onus now is on Northeastern's defense, which has been a struggle point for this team, especially early on, to figure out how they can adjust around it. But that's a start.
Yeah, but they get Bino down pretty early. No Doctor Strange. This is kind of the clapback they needed, because so many times they give up the first point and then they just fall apart, and second point is taken just as quickly. Being able to, stamp their flag in the ground and be like, all right, no more. This is what you need to see out of Northeastern.
Swaps out of Doctor Strange, brings it over to the Winter Soldier. Only Winter's going to stay on the Strange, though. It had the double shields, maybe to protect Hawkeye more, keep it more backline heavy focused for the defense. But even then, At some point, things will break. It's just a matter of seeing how it's going to work out well. Silly Shadow does get the 1v1 against Only Winter. Another Vanguard for Northeastern gone. Ultimate starts to erupt every direction, and Darm, through the process of it, is able to remove half of Conestoga's team.
Yeah, that final judgment coming through very strong once again. And again, only 2 ultimates thrown into that fight from the side of Northeastern, and you got Conestoga to throw in 2 of their own. So you will take even trades and winning the fight at the same time, then continue to hold defensively.
Will it be enough, though? 4 minutes left on the
Casual
clock.
already got Kip.
Yeah, that's wild. Kip gone. No Punisher available now for the attack. It will slow things down just for a tiny bit, but the respawns will be quick. 3 in. Now back onto the Magneto. Conestoga struggling to keep themselves going. Darm again, once more on this Punisher. Has looked really dang good.
Yeah, big Eye of Agamotto coming into that fight. And what was even, is even like the cherry on top of that is you got Silly Shadow down early, who was using the Psionic Seduction. So they got absolutely no value out of that ultimate. And you still, held on to 2. But basically will have your final judgment to counteract the enemy's final judgment and Eternal Bond. And then the Meteor M can also, absorb a lot of that stuff from the final judgment, even if you don't get kills.
Ultimates are coming back into the fray. Eternal Bond can create a lot of distance here. Final Judgment's out once again. Kip is making that push, that stride to come back in. It's a meltdown again. It's been so ultimate heavy. It really feels like both Punishers have been dictating the show.
That they have, but that time the Kraken impact from Bino finding 2. As now the reset's going to come in from the side of Northeastern, but they will be able to come back with a lot on their plate. So I don't think they're too worried about losing that one.
Arm has that final judgment, though. They're going to want to clap back, have a chance to stall the timer again before P2 gets achieved, if it does. GD might be able to stop that with the fate of both worlds. Captain Scrub in the back lines, past the Strange Portal, trying to find that impact against the supports, but he's unable to do so. Mystic does remove Darm into the fate of both worlds. That's such a strong start. It's both ults coming out now. Casual Scrub all the same. The Hunter's sight might not be able to find a whole lot, and while he's able to shoot, he's not able to destroy. The Eternal Bond on top. Northeastern's using everything at once, and there's still 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, but no picks from either side is... There we go. Darm finds that opening pick, and it was Silly Shadow. That's a huge Vanguard pick. No Emma Frost on the field, who provides so much defensive capabilities, and now they're going to be able to follow that up with more and more picks. Expensive fight for both sides, but Northeastern able to bring it home.
Yeah, this is good for Northeastern. They've held the line. You have to wonder, maybe at some point again we could see the Doctor Strange return and portal into the back lines, but then you won't be able to have it for the final point.
Yeah, you're still going to have that Eye of Agamotto available, and that's the big key that they're working with. Meteor M as well, but I think the Eye of Agamotto's got to come through pretty strong to deal with the Psionic Seduction, the Kraken impact, the Eternal Bond.
Oh, that's everybody. That's the entire team being seduced. Holy moly! What a shutdown! Conestoga, you could not have asked for a better play.
Yeah, it feels like another, just like back on Brennan T'Challa, where they were all grouped up for that Tangling Vortex. They were already in position for the Psionic Seduction, and, they took full advantage. Do they get a touch in time? They do not!
Oh, a portal off just by a few seconds. The Agamotto is still available. You could
No,
save
you don't
it?
want to at this point.
No?
No,
you're right.
And unless you're planning
melted.
to swap, you can't use it there. You're in a losing situation. We see, these players are still trying to get out and avoid danger. It looks like they're gonna be not Casual Scrub though.
Oh, my fear is that Only Winter's held on to this ult for so long that you're pretty much cycling it twice over. A wasted Agamotto could be a difference maker.
Here we go. Fights going to ensue around this final corner. As it looks like Only Winter's getting aggressive to look to use this Eye of Agamotto, but is being forced to have to back up here.
Data both worlds once again. Darm. Final judgment. Pacing has looked good for Conestoga. They've been doing a great job holding on once again. Darm is just a mess of ultimates, though. But overall, it feels like Conestoga remains with the advantage. Even though they're losing bodies, they have a lot of time left on the clock. They have still one solid push at their disposal. James no longer has an ultimate. NB is very far off from getting Fate of both worlds. This is looking good to use MGD as the leading point for another charge.
I agree, especially with Kip just around the corner from a final judgment. I mean, it's probably going to take 2 more fights to be able to get this across the finish line if you are the side of Conestoga. So 45 seconds left on the clock. This next fight has to be the one. Only Winter could stop a lot of this with a good Eye of Agamotto.
Oh, good lord, look at this meltdown. No place is safe except for the environment, and barely that too. All of Conestoga is pushing in. They are looking to end this now and force OT. This has been the most dominant side for both teams. Very attacker-sided. Agrian's going to go in for the Venom. A desperation pick because there's only meters left. 15 seconds left. If there's a chance to make this 2-0, that'll be huge for Northeastern when they swap to the attack. But they gotta make it work now, and they're losing bodies quick. The arm is gone. The Venom is gone. Everybody's not getting the protection that they need. And with an Agamotto on top, that might be the difference maker to at least force OT. And on top of that, too, there's a Fate of both worlds as a counter. MV's 83 off, and James is even farther away. It's a battle of the kills. And even then, Darm has no protection. He's able to barely, it seems. He gets the final judgment because of his small recoil. Is that going to be enough to help out? Darm falls just as soon as it procs up. And still, the payload will not push forwards. No one's been able to make it move whatsoever. Northeastern are cycling their bodies and their lives so well. There's the Venom ult. It rises from the ground. It keeps bodies away, but Kip can survive. And that's only Winter gone. The NBU falls as well. That's the strategist gone too. You don't have any strategists left. There's no chance to heal. It feels like the flying is falling, and now Northeastern, they're barely holding on. The Venom attempts to do so. Casual Scrub's too far away, and there's nothing stopping point 3 for Conestoga.
Ooh. But all in all, you can say a much more successful defense from Northeastern than we've seen previously, where
Absolutely.
You know, they've allowed all 3 points, but with multiple minutes on the clock. So you got, at least you got that going for you if you're Northeastern. But I also think Symbiotic Surface is also it's a pretty hard map to complete. So you got that in your, you got that little feather in your cap if you're Conestoga. Is like, look, we complete this reverse sweep if we just stop Northeastern from capping all 3 points. And they did that previously on Ysidro Path.
Yeah. We just need to see if he ran back, huh? Darm hasn't locked in yet. Surely he's gonna go Punisher. Maybe he's baiting us.
I mean, they're on the attack. They don't have to really lock in, but all chips have been pushed to the table for both teams, especially for Northeastern here, because they have to complete all 3 points, or let's be honest, this is a fumbling of the bag, a dropping of the spaghetti.
Oh no. Well, hopefully that doesn't come to that case. It is 2-2, game 5. Northeastern, they had such a dominant first half of the set. Hopefully they can continue this going after fumbling the last 2 games, and just a matter of seeing if it was just, you know, maybe a small game diff, map diff. Portal comes out. Winter is, oh, okay.
I think that's fine. You get, you know, your shields up, you get your team in position, and already the turret's been popped from the Punisher, so that's a lot of damage that's going to be off the field now. And now Darm can go on this flank.
Yeah, hopefully Darm can find impact. A flank would mean, though, less heals, depending on their positioning. Darm has been able to get some. Casual Scrub is good for the opening pick. That's going to be the Cloak and Dagger gone. Luckily, though, there's been a lot of trades. Beanos does remove Darm, but more dominantly, this has been in Northeastern's favor.
Yeah, again, that's just going to be a point cap here for the side of Northeastern. And, you know, just, I mean, not as quick, but, you know, at that point, it was basically just as quick as the side of Conestoga. And because they got later picks, they're going to be able to get a little bit more distance on this card initially than what Conestoga was able to do because they got later spawns.
That's a really good point to bring up. Agrian is definitely overheating alongside the Doctor Strange to try to make that up. Fast track the psionic seduction for when the next big group fight does happen. Hopefully, though, Agrian doesn't overheat too much and does not have the opportunity to get back. But Kip is in the back lines. It's good for one. Okay. Just no one checks for the turret. But that also means, I suppose he's not available for the front lines, and that does make it more weak for the backliners to receive damage.
Oh, they're going to commit the Eternal Bond. I'm surprised they're down 2 in this fight, and it was their Emma Frost who's totally gone, so that's not available. Final Judgment's now going to come out, find one. It is traded for the Emma Frost. However, Fate of Both Worlds now going to come out for the side of Conestoga, and Kip able to find NVU. Is now the Fate of Both Worlds going to come out for Northeastern? I'm really surprised to see the ultimate, being thrown in from Northeastern when they're down numbers.
Yeah. It's a risky play. Maybe the nerves are starting to hit Northeastern a little bit more. The eye gelling is saying just go for the fast track ultimates as soon as possible. We are seeing some staggering from the Northeastern camp. That being said, though, Conestoga, they've lost 2 very valuable players early on. Psionic Seduction does hit in return, however. It's a little bit of everywhere. We're seeing more singular ultimates rather than the group up of bolts we've become accustomed to.
Still an Eye of Agamotto in play for only Winter, and it looks like they might be going for it. They have the opportunity.
Okay. Very, very scrappy group fights. Very brawl-like, being so close and just taking these melee fights. Emma versus Emma. And it's going to be Northeastern to win that.
We see Darm's able to take him down, actually. So that's actually going to be a big frontliner down for the side of Northeastern Black. But they find Darm in response. Bino sends him back to the spawn room. Still plenty of ults available. Only Winter. I feel like this Eye of Agamotto's got to come out soon, buddy.
Yeah, only Winter's been holding on to these Agamottos for way too long. I think we only saw 1 on the first half, question mark. And even then, though, it's been hard to find that stopping power. You don't want to line it up directly with Kip's ult because the stun will not affect him in the Final Judgment form.
Yeah, and then, MGD, next fight's going to have, the Fate of Both Worlds. So you got, having to deal with that. And then, NVU getting picked again from Kip. It's just continuous staggers. You can't continue to have this if you're Northeastern. They have not been able to take a full 6 in quite some time.
Yeah, it really feels a lot more singular now from both teams. Just whatever impact you can find, just make it work. Has been the strat, especially from the 2 Emmas. They are just throwing everything at each other. Meteor M is out. Impact? No, it lands directly below the feet of some players into the air. Kip once again is left clicking to high oblivion, and it's working. Psionic Seduction is back. Plenty of ultimates back and forth to negate all the damage possible. There really hasn't been a lot of moving power for Northeastern. 2 minutes is left on the clock, and they've got to find a way to break this iceberg.
And it looks like the Final Judgment is going to be that missing link to be able to do that. And they're finally going to get this cart moving. Minute 46, you're going to be able to contest one more time. You've decided Conestoga, and they will have a Final Judgment. The only ultimate online for Northeastern is this Meteor M from Only Winter. This is going to have to go really strong.
Yeah, Only Winter swapped off of the Doctor Strange, so I think these ults will come out a little bit faster. You're not portal reliant anymore. Case in point, Meteor M is out, and it doesn't do a lot. In fact, it backfires. That's Conestoga once again finding a near team wipe. That's all the players of Northeastern now officially gone.
Yeah, the Final Judgment absolutely obliterated that Meteor M, so it was just not able to use. But you did throw in everything you had if you're Northeastern into that. So you'll be able to re-engage with, likely was going to be an Eternal Bond. But with 1 minute on the clock, I mean, this could be it. Will Conestoga pull off the reverse sweep?
They have no choice. They're going to have to pull it off now if they want to be able to stay flawless within this tournament and in this tournament period. Only Winter. Looking good. Can they hold the line? We've said that so many times before, but it has really been so Vanguard heavy this series. And the symbiote itself, that combo is attempting to crawl its way to the front, and it's not making too much distance. It's so brawly yet again. Darm, even though we were watching the Emma Frost for so long, it's Darm to find impact. himself and Kip have also been difference makers, really finding the impactful frags to take it home. That's Casual Scrub for another. Mystic is gone, and that should hopefully confirm point 2 with 8 seconds left.
Yeah, in the end, they're going to be able to get the second point, keep their hopes alive. A minute and a half to get this third point, though. It is a daunting task, but anyone can do it. Northeastern can.
Absolutely. They've had so much confidence with these early game leads that they need to just take it home. They're in the final stretch, even though they would have to go to OT to do it now. They have to complete this final point, and it was very tough for Conestoga to do that when they were on the attack. Final Judgment is out once again. A meltdown ensues, but not quite the way that you would expect. It's actually both Punishers that fall in unison. And even then, though, we're seeing the strategist take a bite out of the duelist sandwich. Meteor M is back out yet again. Can it affect the fate of both worlds for MGD? Maybe. Will it be enough? The answer is no. They choose to hold on to the ult.
Yes, Onyx is going to come out combined with the Kraken Impact. Are able to find Vesper, looking for where they're able to get Casual Scrub. Another Kraken Impact at the disposal. Not going to find anyone that time, but the damage has been done. Eternal Bond's now going to come out, which is going to allow Northeastern to push forward. Still Meteor M and that Hunter sight available, but Kip has that final judgment.
That's right, distance still needs to be made. 20 seconds left, and there's plenty of ults in the arsenal of Conestoga. They've been doing such a great job. It's Kip, though, a meltdown. That's going to be a very valuable player gone off the hands of this Meteor M. Only Winter swapping to the Magneto has been a blessing for Northeastern.
Yeah, but the Meteor M also came out, and it's not going to find anything as it stays alive. Overtime is now going to ensue for Northeastern Blacks, so it looks like they're going to have to win one final fight to make this happen. Eternal Bond versus Hunter's Sight to open up this fight.
Eastern cannot go out like this. They look so dominant for so long. Conestoga, they've done such a good job bringing things back. And there it is. This could be very well the final push. It's overtime now. Bodies need to stay alive. The supports need to be protected. And even then, Casual Scrub maintains onto this Hawkeye. Darm is there to lead the push. Bush Llama falls. This is good. He's been able to put a lot of the onus onto him while Scrub is in the back, dealing out a lot of damage in the process. And Darm is there to finish everything off. There it is. Final Judgment once more. The double Luna ults are out now, possibly to negate this damage. Can it be enough? The answer is no. Darm once again is mowing down everybody in his path. And this was the blessing needed. Only a few more meters needed. And at 0, we do hit OT.
Oh, baby. Here we go. Both teams overtime, 1 minute. And both teams, with the help of the Doctor Strange portals, were able to cap the first point with relative ease. This is what I was hoping for with this matchup. I said at the beginning, division, you know, you get a little weirdness in the compositions. It's not the top tier, you know, where, you know, things can be very standard, very meta. But this is where you can get some of the best games. And these two teams have been putting on a show, as Luna would say.
OT Game 5. Really couldn't ask for anything better, man. And we're definitely seeing it here. No major changes heading into OT now. Things are not all hunky-dory in the Northeastern camp. At one point, they were in OT and they had a 3-minute lead back on Central Park. Now it's even across the board.
Whew. Here we go, baby. Northeastern on the defense. Playing no surprise here. The Emma Frost with the Magneto. Going to keep Casual Scrub on that Hawkeye, which we've seen. And Darm, who popped off in that overtime, continuing to play the Punisher. We do see that for Conestoga, Bino is on the Doctor Strange to open things up with that portal. Let's see if they can take full advantage of it once again.
Conestoga, they've got to make this work now. We've seen how dominant they can be. Bino, Doctor Strange portal. Is Northeastern prepped up for this? The answer seems to be somewhat yes, but a little bit no. They were expecting the elevated portal like we saw the first time around. This one is also elevated, but in a slightly more inward spot. And it's going to be Darm and company forcing out from the Emma's shield. But there we go. Portal continues on forwards. No eliminations from either side just yet.
Oh, but
there
they
we go.
do get the Emma Frost huge Vesper back to the spawn route. So Northeastern needs to find another pick. It needs to find a returning pick and quick.
Yeah, no trades at all. Agrian swaps away from the Emma and goes to the Black Panther. This is Northeastern without an Emma at all. This has been a staple for the second half of the set.
Yeah, the Eternal Bond was used there too from Bush Llama. So very unfortunate situation there where you're not going to have that for this next fight. So I think, you know, if you're Northeastern, you can try and take advantage. Vesper also going to go over to the Black Panther. So only one Vanguard available in the Magneto.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, man. Having only one Vanguard in a game that's been very Vanguard impact heavy is definitely a risky play, but it might work out well. Silly Shadow does fall. That's one Vanguard gone off of Conestoga. Can it be enough? Eternal Bond met with the hands of the Luna ult on the enemy side. There it is, Hunter's Sight. Can that be enough to make the difference? The answer is no, but there is going to be, again, another final judgment, number 59 in this series. And it's going to shut down the OT.
But I mean, that's kind of what I expected, to where you're going to get with 1 minute. I guess you could say technically Northeastern on their attack, because they got later kills, got a little bit further because of the longer spawns. So, but that's all just dependent on how this attack goes for Northeastern. But it's all coming down to this, folks. We will not get any extra overtime after this. Northeastern's attack will decide, does Conestoga complete the reverse sweep, or does Northeastern shut the door just as they're inches away from doing it?
And they've made such a journey to get to this spot, they can't have the door slam in their face. But it could very well happen. Final side, the final point, game 5. There's nothing after this now. It's now or never for Northeastern. They've had to make changes. They did different stylings, different compositions. Down to this very last moment.
1 minute to decide it all. Vesper on the Doctor Strange. So they aren't going to go with the Emma Frost, which is, I mean, the fact that they came back on the Black Panther kind of says a lot for me going forward. But interestingly, the triple Vanguard setup for Conestoga on this defense. Doctor Strange, Emma Frost, and Magneto.
Oh, that's that triple Vanguard. Something that I feel Northeastern has struggled to find a solution to. Okay, good enemy portal. Did not work out well, but it did stall for just a few seconds. And when you have 43 to get this first point, which can be incredibly difficult for attackers, you need all the time you can.
Here we go. That's a lot of damage on the Emma Frost. They're able to get back just in time to get back to their team and get healed up. Here we go. What can Northeastern do?
Okay. A little bit of only Winter in the enemy back lines. Kind of mushed into the sphere. Unfortunate there. All the damage from the entirety of Conestoga was completely focused on only Winter. And they are melting. 10 seconds left. It seems like it might be over.
Yeah, no
there's no chance to get back in. A fizzling end for Northeastern Black for what was such a dominant beginning to this series.
Conestoga does it. The undefeated team, dropping the first 2 maps in a row, comes up with the goods, completes the reverse sweep, and punches their ticket to the grand final.
Yeah, very well deserved. It was scary in the beginning, but the triple Vanguard composition and just how malleable all the players are and still working together in different roles really shows what it takes to make it to Grands.
Yeah, man, that was just everything we could have asked for. Congratulations to Conestoga keeping their undefeated streak alive, and I guess we'll find out in what is it, a week? You know, who's going to win the grand final.
Could very well be a possibility. But I gotta say, Ray, it was a very enjoyable experience to be working NECC for the first time with you, man. Northeastern, I thought they did a great job, and I was really hoping to see more of them, but Conestoga, man, I think they might be one of the best we'll see for a very long time.
Yeah, taking a look at the bracket, I'm just looking at it online. They will be facing Elon Gold in the grand finals in 1 week. And interestingly enough, Elon Gold was the 6th seed coming into here. They just took down the 2 seed in the semifinals today.
Wow. I mean, look, the game is so young. All the teams are so young too. Like there's so many chances of upsets and mix-ups that anything's really a possibility, Ray. But I gotta say, that's it for us today. This was one heck of a banger series. I don't know if anyone expected to go OT Game 5 the full distance, but we certainly made it there, and it was such a good ending. It makes me so excited for Grand Finals, dude.
Could not agree more. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in. And thank you to our lovely people, Kai, behind the scenes, and Shivam, producing and observing for us. We could not do what we do if it wasn't for you. And thank you, Keg, for joining me on this broadcast. We will see you guys at a later time. See you guys next week for Grand Finals.
Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't.